Every one of you doing on this amazing Monday? I'm doing okay. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. I hope each and every one of you are doing great. And I hope you have a great week. If you could please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button to get all my videos and lives when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of most of my videos. So here I am, I'm back. Was it like 5 days into COVID now? I'm pretty much healthy, I think. You still feel it. It lingers, I've noticed. But I ain't letting it slow me down. But other than that, man, not a whole lot going on in my life. Keeping it simple. I do think that I rushed back to work a little prematurely, but that is what it is, right? This is what it is. Sometimes it's not good to be trapped up, cooped up, and just laying down, feeling sorry for yourself. Sometimes to get up, get moving is the way to do it, to make yourself feel better. So, but, you know, you guys know how it is with me. You know, I am all about doing these lives and coming and talking to you guys about the stuff that's going on in the world. So, hey Matt, what's the chances cop did not kill Sanderson after arrest? He had medical distress. What's that? Who's Sanderson? Yeah, I'm still a little sick, my brother. But the reality is, the Saskatchewan killer, he killed 10 people. Oh, I have no idea what the chances are. I would say that if they killed him, they probably would say so. But maybe not in that circumstance. It's crazy to me, the whole story, man. How these guys clearly went off, something happened, whether it's drugs or whatever, or they had something going on in their minds. And seeing the one that died too, the other brother, so what happened to him? It's a crazy story, man. It makes me think sometimes, because as a criminal, I've never had those thoughts run in my mind where I just want to attack civilians and hurt innocent people. It's never anything that I've ever thought about. So it'd be hard for me to kind of relate, but I also haven't lived their existence, you know. I haven't grown up in their shoes. I don't know what they went through, what kind of trauma they had, which could have contributed to it. But there is never an explanation for killing civilians and innocent people. I don't care how messed up you are, man. Doesn't make it okay. The whole situation is tragic, you know. Man, what a scene that would have been. Crazy. It just shows like the state of our world right now. And I know these things have kind of always happened, but for someone to just go off like that, they must see zero hope, zero future, zero for themselves in terms of the ability of success. For you to just crash out like that, you know, it happens, right? If you're doing crime and there's consequences to your crime, sometimes people either overestimate the time they're gonna get and they crash out because they assume it's over anyways, or you get to a point where you don't care. I've been there. I've been in my mind where I don't care what happens. My objective is to get away. And when you have a mind like that, when your objective is just get away, get away, get away, You can get scary. You can get crazy. You can start thinking crazy things. But I don't know what specifically happened in this specific case. We'll have to wait and see for more information. But rest in peace to everybody who lost their lives in that. And shout out to all their family. That's crazy. Yeah, I saw that there was an Amber Alert just a couple hours ago for an active shooter. That's something you don't see every day around here. I don't know anything about that story either, so if you're in the building, go up, hit that like button. 18 of you, only 2 likes. Come on, dogs. Helps the algorithm. It doesn't hurt you. All I would say is that when times are dark, because right now I feel like times are dark, and I feel like there's negativity swirling around. Everybody's just not really in a good place, and it's kind of snowballing, getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, we have dispensaries for sure. Lots of them. Apparently caught 1, did 2 in hospital. Peel shooter. Huh. It's crazy, but if I had one message, I would just say, no matter how crazy and lost your life seems, because I've been there. I was at a point where I felt like it was hopeless, right? The future was bleak. But the only way that's going to change is if you change it, because nobody is going to ensure you freedom or a good life in the future if you keep fucking around. Eventually it gets to the point where one support system is gone, another is gone, another is gone, and you're alone. And that's what happens when people crash out and they feel like they have nothing left. That's when they crash out. It's a cycle. I don't know what ACAB is. This is the thing. I don't really think fuck the police meant like kill the police. It was just like fuck you and what you stand for and the shit that you do. I just think that when it comes to criminals as a whole, there is a division between the cops and the cons, and you're never gonna bridge that gap. There's always gonna be some hard heads that refuse. But cops are also necessary, and a lot of people, you know, if you've never been in prison or you've never been around some hardcore criminals, it'd be hard to understand, but some people are just bad. And it doesn't matter if there's a leak in the system, a loophole they can exploit, anything like that, they're gonna do that. So you at least need the threat of them to be there to protect women and children. And I just look at it like if they do their job and they leave me alone, I'm good. No, I never dip or chew tobacco. Nah. Doesn't happen often, but it has to happen. And I think one of the major issues with that is the fact that there's no real smart policing. You know what I mean? It's like you take somebody who grew up in this area and you make them police a bunch of people that grew up in this area. There's a huge cultural divide, which brings fear and skepticism and all these other things, and it makes it more tense. It's like putting a redneck cop in a hood, right? It's not gonna work, right? It's not gonna work. There's not gonna be enough relating for that gap to get bridged, and that's a huge problem with policing as well, and just training as a whole. And police with this idea that they need to exact this like corporal punishment on a community. I've been there. When you're doing certain things in a community, the police come down on the whole community, and it might not seem that way, but to the people who live in that community, who have trust issues already with the police, it's like that. Hey, what are the chances of someone getting bail if they breached on bail before violent charges? I would say the chances are, it just depends. You know, I think that if you keep constantly breaching and the charges are really violent, it's not likely. But if you've had one breach, it's possible, I guess. And it would depend on how violent and serious the charges, because some charges, it doesn't matter, right? They're not going to give you bail even if you've never breached before, if it's that serious. So it just depends. Each circumstance is going to be different. Each individual case will be different. My friend got 4 years for a sex assault, but he is innocent. Is he going to get beat down? If they find out who he is, I would say yeah. Matt, any idea if prescription weed is allowed for inmates? Now, if you're in the penitentiary, it's not allowed, but if you are out on parole, it is allowed now. It's made parole much easier for a lot of guys. Because weed was one of the biggest violators of people. Well, now you could just get it. You just get your little card. You have to have the card. And you're good to go. Guys are going out and having joint breaks in the halfway house. But I just hope we start seeing some brighter days, man. The way things are looking, it's looking pretty grim out there. I don't see a whole lot of positivity anymore, man. It's crazy to me. It's like constant confrontation everywhere. If you look on TV, you look online, it's just ideologues battling ideologues, and people fighting people, and people fighting people in the grocery store and arguing over here. The world has gone mad, my friend. Social media has successfully driven people apart, when it was really supposed to bring everybody together. So at first it brought everybody together, and then it starts ripping everybody apart. Which is exactly the reason why I don't go on social media very often. It is not good for your mind. Like, they want you to be addicted to that shit. Holy shit, sorry, I missed all these. I'm getting into healing and spirituality to bring positivity to myself and others. You already know, player. Would a broken nose be aggravated assault or assault bodily harm? Assault bodily harm. Yeah, but in this day and age, with all the hashtag Me Too stuff, they're not all the same. No, they're not all the same. But if you have sex assault on your paper, it is all the same in the pen. You know, it doesn't matter. That guys aren't gonna look at the nuances of your case. Guys are gonna see conviction, and that's it. You got to remember, a lot of guys inside, they're looking for these kind of guys to go after. Like they want them. Okay, Dick. Riley, what's up? How goes it? I personally don't feel sorry for anybody who's in prison for that charge, but if he's innocent, I hope he's able to prove it. Jamal, what up, man? Shout out to Ottawa. Todd, well, my mom's doing great, and me and my family doing great, except the fact that we're battling COVID. Just in case you didn't know. I'll have a video up in the next day or two as well. I'll tell you, I never really believed in it either, but it doesn't feel like anything I've ever felt before. As you're letting, bro, I just put one out. I'm glad you guys are doing good, brother. I hope you get well. You already know, player. Can long COVID be measured with a meter stick? I have no idea. Hey, man, I'm almost eligible for pardon after 10 years time now. Any idea on the process? I have no idea. I'll tell you what. So I went from like flu symptoms, and then I had like these weird symptoms, like these weird like abdominal pains, and like my skin hurt. like it was uncomfortable to wear a t-shirt, you know what I mean? And I had like this weird delirium. It was a weird, I've never had these kind of symptoms before, so. I didn't see you, AZ Struction. Can you re-ask the question, please? Gen 913, I'm not fully, like I got the 2 first vax because I had to for my job, but I haven't gotten any boosters or anything like that. If a lawyer tells you that they haven't lost a bail hearing, is that a lie? Yes. I would say yes. Now, maybe if they say they haven't lost a bail hearing where they've been paid $20,000 or more, hey, maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe they can grease enough pockets to make that happen. But people lose bail hearings all the time. And people who deserve to get bail don't get bail all the time. It's literally like a hit and miss. What kind of mood is the Crown in that day? So, do people use baseball bats at minimum as weapons, or are most people there chill? I would say like in a minimum security, most people are going to be chill. For no worries, brother, are there any subtle differences that you can tell from other channels when it comes to jail or prison in Canada? You can tell from other people when it comes to jail and prison in Canada to America. What do you mean by that? I don't understand. Are there any subtle differences that you can tell from other channels when it comes to jail and prison in Canada to America? Or like what are the subtle differences? I'd say that there's lots of differences. I'd say the biggest difference is population size. Biggest difference. And that difference makes just think about it. You go from a prison in Canada that has like 400, 500, 600 people Then you go to a prison in the States somewhere, it has like 4,000 or 5,000 people. The quality of life for those 5,000 is going to be way less than for that 500. It's just a fact. The budget of the prison might be pretty similar, just how many people are being thrown there. I'd say Canada, you definitely have more rights. I would say for sure. I would say the States is probably in a lot of more places more violent, and also we don't deal with booty bandits in Canada. It's not a thing. You know, I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure if you're in protective custody, I'm sure that shit probably happens, but it's not a thing. Shout out to Jay Williams, Let Live, and 1090 Jake. They are both killing it. Can't hate on them. No, it is not segregated. You know, you're gonna chill with your own race most likely, but it's not like a forced thing. People aren't gonna hate on you if you're chilling with black guys, although you may have some white dudes that hate on you and you may have some black dudes that hate on you, but as a whole, our prisons aren't racially divided like that most of the time. Now, racial tensions can build up at specific times in specific jails, and sometimes you may have to deal with that. So yeah, the booty bandit stuff, I never understood that shit, bro. I never understood that, how dudes would just stand around and let that shit happen. Did you know? Yeah. But this is the thing, Bobby. I have 60 convictions. And I've never heard anybody in a violent charge in my life. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do that. You know? Everybody goes through different things and goes through different experiences. But I know he definitely had more of a violent history than me. And I don't have a violent history on paper for charges. So I can't say for sure. I've never looked at his case to see if there was neglect or whatever. But there's so many guys going in and out. And usually people are getting f***ed over. It's not people getting a slap on the wrist. I've seen so many guys get fucked for parole that should have had parole. Their behavior, everything they're doing indicates that they should have it. But nope. If you're in the building, go up top, hit that like button. I might still be a little delirious, guys. I'm the COVID, man. On a 3-year sentence, the soonest you're going to get out in Canada is going to be 1/3. There used to be accelerated parole. It's not there anymore. That's gone. So, 1/3. Now, if you're on a violent charge, like a sexual assault or a violent assault, the chance of you getting parole at 1/3 is going to drastically decrease. Now, 2/3 is automatic, you know. 2/3 is automatic because that's your stat. Now, it's automatic in like 95% of cases. Now, if your behavior is just so extraordinarily bad, they definitely can pull that and keep you to your warrant. I've seen it happen. So, I'll say this. Being a sex offender is a risky game. You know, they're playing with their life every single time they get arrested. So clearly there's something going on up here if they can't stop it. It's not normal for somebody to want to keep taking themselves to prison so they can get their heads smashed in. Do you need to explain your case to other inmates, or just say you in for assault, or if it's domestic? It depends on which guys you're doing time with, you know? If a guy asks you what you're in for and you lie about it and they find out you lie about it, it could be an issue. But usually guys don't really care about most charges. As long as you don't have any sex offenses or any weirdo charges, guys typically don't care. Like, a lot of guys are in on domestic. A lot of guys are in on, like, pimping and charges that I look at like weird. They're there. People don't look at it that way. So times have changed, you know. Times have changed. I don't think it's okay. I just think that it went from kind of considered a bad charge to not really considered a bad charge. And, you know, I guess there's people that can fall on both sides of that. It's just kind of flipped, because back in the day, pimping was considered a bad beef. If you had, like, a lot of the charges that go with pimping, it's not good. I had an episode of psychosis. It didn't hurt no one, but I got assault and forced entry to female. What do you mean by forced entry? Like into the property? Like trespassing? I'm not accounting for a sex offender people out there, but the first time you commit a sex offense, I can understand maybe you might be sick. But after that, no, you don't. You should be locked life. I definitely agree. I think sick or not, it's a wrap. You can't change what sexually attracts you. You just can't. That's how you're programmed. It's going to be deep seated into your brain. So life or firing range, you know. It's difficult for those guys to do life anyways, because they'll get caught. If they're that high profile, they're going to get caught. They're going to get stopped. They're going to get beaten. It's going to be a rough go for them. And they deserve that. It should be a rough go for them. Yeah, Nick. It's keeping me down a bit. I'm like losing my train of thought a little bit. I'm clearly still a little bit foggy, you know? But I saw the what's it called? The Amber Alert or whatever, the alert for it there, Steve. Yeah, once a Skinner, always a Skinner. I don't disagree. What happens to someone evading an arrest warrant? Will they get a harsher sentence? It would depend. You know, did you escape from custody? Did you go on the run? Or are you just being evasive so you don't get picked up? You can't always know that you have an arrest warrant, right? So they can't really accuse you of running from it. There's no charge. Now, if they have you in custody and then you run, then you're definitely going to get a charge and also a harsher sentence. But I would say it just depends. Hey, what's up, Sandra? Mr. Skinner from The Simpsons. Escape court box, got arrested 2 days later. I jumped the box. Yeah, jump in the box for sure. You're gonna get extra time. It's crazy. It just doesn't make sense. But I would have been laughing and dying and riding with you if you tried it. You gotta respect anybody who tries that. It's a lose, 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 but they're trying anyways. Callie, what's up? No, my boy's unit was broken into. He believes it was cops with an arrest warrant. What kind of charges could he be facing for them to do that? Drugs? Maybe human trafficking? Maybe firearms? The thing is, when they put these skinners on the range with real dudes, they put the real dudes' lives at stake. That's the thing. Believe me, guys think that these coppers are being solid, but they're not. Their job is to keep everybody safe, right? Putting that skinner on the block doesn't only put the skinner at risk, it puts the guy who's already in there at risk. They know what they're doing. They're trying to kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, mailman, I don't disagree. I haven't been in the Max in the Bay, no. Not the solid cop. Canadian Barbecue Mafia. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. No, I'm an assault matter. No drugs, firearms, or trafficking. Can someone say they tried to kill someone and get charged for attempted murder? I don't understand. I'm sure, yeah, Cali nuts. I've done a lot of time, my brother. Not the solid cops. Yeah, jump the box 5 minutes for roughing. Man, you hear about guys doing it though. They try. There's guys that try. Fuck it. I've run from jails before, but like young offender jails that are basically like houses. You know, I never been in a frame of mind where I'm in like Lindsay or something. I'm trying to figure out a plan to like dig through the wall, scale the roof, all that. I'm just gonna do my time. If I'm out on bond and doing good behavior on house arrest, even as a minor, would they want me to put me in jail? Possibly. If it's attempted murder, I would think that they would definitely consider putting you in jail. Maybe not for a super long time. Maybe you'll have like a conditional sentence on top of that, which will extend it, plus a lot of parole. But yeah, I would say that unless you get the charge dropped down to like assault causing bodily, I don't know what the attempted murder was. So I never been to Salaps, but I know what it was like. It's a phase 1 secure custody. So it'll be like kids jail. A little bit more comfortable than adult jail. Less bars, more doors. Steel though. We did the Kingston Pen tour this summer, lots of history there. Yep, I slept there, what, 3 months, 4 months? Maplehurst, that's possible still. Yo, someone tried to dig out of the pod in Ottawa's OCDC back in 2004 with a metal handle off a mop bucket. Yeah. OCI is about sex offenders and drug addicts and trying to create a safe provincial correctional environment. But 95% of guys aren't going to be successful there. My boy's door was broken. He was on probation, but it was for an assault minor. Does that mean he's facing something really serious? Assault minor? My brother was in Kingston a couple times. Yeah, it's a crazy place. I find that miserable people are very determined in their thinking. They're convinced of certain outcomes, therefore enter crazy behavior. That's a fact. Catastrophizing to justify negative behavior. I used to do that shit. Waypoint. I have no idea what that is. I'm on here for like 2 more minutes, guys. If you can go up, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, last bid was in the Bay. My last bid was in Fembrook, and my bid before that was all in the Ville. I appreciate you guys coming for the live, despite the fact that I can barely keep a train of thought. Like, I can't. I'm foggy, man. Waypoint, where is that? Like Oak Ridge, Penetanguishene or something? Or is that like... what's... I'll look up. I'll look it up. I try there, Charger, man. I try. You already know, Cali Nuts. Okay, one last question. No matter what jail was, what was the scariest moments? I only felt like my life was in danger maybe once, and it was after. I never felt like it was in danger in the moment, but I almost got jumped by those same dudes that killed that guy, and on my block a week prior. So you have a moment where you kind of humble yourself a little bit. But you guys already know I appreciate you guys coming, spending some time with me on the live. I love y'all. This is important to me. I know that it's been sparse lately. I haven't been around. I've been just had a lot going on. And now, top it all off, smack me in the head with some COVID. T-Dot, what up? Some bullshit. But you already know, we'll be back. I love y'all, man.